It's a bloom. I'm very excited. Hey guys, it's Dara. So I'm a few days late on filming my garden tour for the week. We took a long weekend and celebrated Memorial Day with my dear mom, who came down with my nephew fur baby Ivan, and we just had a great weekend together. I decided to hold off on getting things planted in the garden because we ended up having a few nights that was about 39 degrees overnight, which is pretty cold, and it just wouldn't have benefited any of the stuff that I'm planting to go ahead and put it in. But I do have a little bit of a tour for you today. I thought that we would walk through the garden together, see what's different from last week, talk a little bit about the plan. I'm actually going to start planting today and hopefully be done planting in the next 2 days. All right, so let's go see what's going on in the garden. It's pretty sunny in some spots, but still shaded. About half of my garden is in full shade right now until about 10 or 11. So it's not a full sun all day garden, but most plants only need about 6 to 8 hours of sunlight to survive. Maybe not necessarily thrive in all cases, but I just go with what I can. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on right now. All right, so garlic's still looking good. I got this bed topped off in the back, so we will get those beans planted today. Onions are coming along nicely. Parsley is really fully getting its blooms. The cilantro is still doing pretty nice. So originally I had planned on planting some tomatoes down the center of this bed, but now I'm actually thinking about putting some okra that I picked up from a local garden center called Rick's. I was only able to get 3 plants, but I've never had luck growing them from seed. I say never because I've only actually tried 3 times. No, twice. But I haven't had much luck. From what I understand, okra doesn't do great out here because we have a really dry climate, relatively low humidity, and okra love lots of sunlight, lots of heat, and lots of humidity. But since this bed gets sun so early in the day, it's pretty much the first bed to get sun, I think I'm going to try and see how they do. Last year I had peppers planted here and they did pretty well, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so our chard is really fully in bloom, and we have a little baby ladybug there. So yeah, I'm probably going to go in here and pull a couple of these out just so I can have room for more planting, but I still just think they're so pretty, and they're about the only flowers that are happening in the garden right now to attract pollinators, so I want to just kind of let them go. This big old lettuce has started to go to seed. There's its little seed head. So flea beetles are still attacking my greens pretty heavily, but I did get my diatomaceous earth in. Unfortunately, I got it the day before it rained like an inch that night, so I knew it was going to rain, so I didn't bother putting it down. So I will be putting that down tonight. So in the last garden tour, I had actually filmed a shot of this bed, but somehow I lost the clip. So I decided not to worry about it, not go back and film it, and just show you guys this week what's going on. So let's take a look. So in this bed, we actually had tomatoes growing last year, and we will have tomatoes here again. Tomatoes have done really well in this bed, so I just keep growing them here. But what I decided to do this year is grow our peas in this bed. And when they're done, we'll just clip them off and leave the roots in the ground to help with nitrogen needs. We have some little radishes growing down here. Again, same problem. Lots of ants and flea beetles. These little holes that you see in these leaves, that's from flea beetles. So I don't know how much production I'm actually going to get out of these guys, but that's okay. We tried. We can try again in some other spaces. I actually plan on interplanting some more, but the peas are finally growing. They're not doing as well as they did last year in another bed, so I may not do this again next year, but we can still pick the pea shoots and add those to salads if they don't end up taking off. But for now, that's basically all that's happening in this bed. We have some more peas coming up over here and some more coming up back there. So I'm pretty well known for having a plan and not following a plan in just about everything that I do. And this weekend I planned on getting my containers set up for the front and doing some flower planting with my mom because that's kind of our thing, which we did do. We did plant some flowers and I did get maybe half of the containers filled with soil. But then it was just nagging at me about this little path in the garden. And so I decided to go ahead and start trying to get that area leveled out a little bit because I had some stones that were slipping. So I thought I'd give you guys a little peek at what I had done there. There's my little Baker dog. Baker, you want to say hi? Anyway, so I took out the stones that were there and scavenged these little brick border pieces that were actually all along our fence outside of our property. Where we put our fence up, originally there was no fence there, and so they had these running along kind of as the division for their driveway. So we went ahead and hauled those back here, and I built this up a little bit, so now it's a little bit more of a level step. It's kind of still a little bit low over there, but it's a lot better, so I'm hoping that won't wash out as much. These are the extra bricks that I still need to place. I think I'm going to do another step down across over there, but we'll see what happens. And then I did pick up some Elysium that I'm going to plant in here. I had planned on trying to put in not cilantro. I had planned on putting in some clover to grow in between the rocks. I never got around to it. I may still try to go and throw some down. I just don't know how well it's going to seed now. But there's always next year. I know I keep saying that, but I just want everybody to remember that. But yeah, I mean, every year I have big plans and I don't always get everything done. And I think that that's perfectly okay. I also had something kind of exciting happen. In my last tour, I said that I didn't expect any blooms to come out of the irises and daylilies that I had planted from my brother-in-law, but so look what we have. I actually didn't even know what color these irises were going to be. So looks like we're going to have some purple irises. So Connor and I did come out last week and we cut the mint back pretty aggressively and harvested some lettuce. We've actually been able to have lettuce with every dinner since like Wednesday of last week. So that's been really fun and enjoyable. It definitely makes me feel like summertime. So this looks a lot more yellow. I'll try to fix that in editing, but we actually came through here and cut back all of this mint. You already kind of can't even tell that I cut it back here. I cut pretty aggressively in the back. That's why it's yellowing a little bit there, but it'll be okay. It'll all come back, and if not, it won't be a problem. It'll fill itself in. So here's another little area in the garden last week that I started to film, but I didn't end up filming for some reason. I think we'll continue to see that happen through the garden tours as we get more and more growing space, but I just wanted to show you our little beet area. So these were all grown from seed. I actually started them inside and brought them out about a month ago, and they were all very, very, very tiny. A lot smaller than this, and I put them down in the ground and most of them took. We did have some birds come through and have some lunch on them, but that's okay. Beet seeds are pretty affordable, so they were easily replaced. Also planted a little baby mustard, and the lettuces are coming along pretty good. A little bit of damage. I know that I have some earwigs, so I need to put out some traps for them. And let's see here. Calendula is coming up nicely. These are some marigolds that are coming up. So I always think it's a good idea to plant flowers in and around your garden, especially flowers like marigolds, calendula, chamomile, all of those kinds of things to, one, attract pollinators. Marigolds also help a little bit with pest control, and they're beautiful. Marigold seeds are really easy to collect at the end of the season. Just let them dry, pull them out, and you will get hundreds of marigold seeds from every flower. I have a gallon-sized bag of them. So if you're in Colorado Springs and you need some marigold seeds, let me know. I'll hook you up. Okay, so here's our little lettuce area. Bok choy's starting to come back. Still, like I said, lots of flea beetles popped in a few more lettuce starts in here. These guys are all doing great. They're ready for another harvest. I'm just starting to see our first carrot coming up over here. They're not doing great, but carrots are really notoriously hard to germinate. I really want to try this new method that I saw online. They put a board over them to protect them from being washed away, holds kind of some warmth in, and helps with germination because they are so finicky. So I am planning on planting a few more carrots, and I will definitely be trying that method out, and I'll let you know. If you've tried that method and that works for you, please leave a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear like what's successful for you guys so that I can try. Like I said, I am certainly not a professional gardener. I'm still learning. Every year I learn something new. So I did end up getting this whole bed topped off. It is all ready for planting, so we'll get started with that today. I haven't really decided if I want to focus on getting the tomatoes in here. We're also going to put some tomatoes on this side. They'll cast a shadow, but it'll be over the path, and then plant all of our peppers over here nice and tight. And that'll be great. But yeah, still lots of stuff to do in the garden. Always something to do, but always an enjoyable process.